We hope you brought your straw hats and ship crew because today we have
Crocodile!
This water starter, wielded by Silver in the anime, boasts many interesting properties, including its frightening look and its fat butt. But we at PokeRebels value substance over appearance, and at that, was Feraligatr as scary as he looked or as booty? Let's find out. Now, if you were a seasoned PokeRebel fan, which thank you very much first of all, you would say, oh wait, I know this one. Totodile is one of the most underrated Pokemon in this region. This video is going to tell me that once more. Well, dear viewer, that might have been the case if it was not for PokeTuber Mr. Jose. As it turns out, J Rose's Crystal Nuzlocke video shows that Totodile was even more underrated than even we Starmie-loving, Dodrio-busting Pokemon geniuses originally assume. What great and amazing trait of the Totodile did we overlook? Well, it is a move we learn at level 7, Rage. Now on the surface, Rage sucks. It has 20 base power and it raises the Crocodile's attack a little bit each time you get hit while spamming this move. But as it turns out, some of the early gyms give Totodile perfect Rage setup opportunities. See, against Faulkner, you just lead with Totodile, equipped with a berry and spam Rage right off. You will take little damage from tackles, which will also power up your Rage to quite strong levels, strong enough to 1v1 the Pidgeotto with the help of a held berry. Totodile will go on to help with the rock types the various hikers have at Union Cave, including Hiker Anthony, though a better strat would be to avoid him. Avoid him, please. But the one you cannot avoid is none other than the next gym leader, Bugsy. Against Bugsy, the strategy you use with Totodile is exactly the same as what you do with Faulkner. Lead with Totodile, spam Rage. Now, you might get owned if Kakuna happens to poison you before you KO it, but if that does not happen, Scyther will not be too much of a threat as Fury Cutter starts off pretty weak and your Rage will have gained so much power it defeats the mighty bug pretty quickly. The next gym leader is Whitney. Guess what Totodile, now evolved into Croconaw, guess what he's gonna do? Yup! Evolved or not, this Croc got more Rage than a Pokemon Showdown low ladder noob after losing an AG to a full team of level 1 Cottonies. What enables this to work is that Clefairy is very likely to use Double Slap, which will trigger the Rage power boost once for each hit, giving you a potentially massive power boost in one turn. You know, it's funny how much the move Rage makes possible in a playthrough. I mean, thank God no Pokemon can do something similar in competitive. It really is a blessing that such a thing totally does not exist at all, right? Right? Anyhow, thanks to J Rose for discovering this aspect of Totodile, or at least being the one that showed it to us. Going forward, the next gym leader is Morty, which Croconaw gets Bite for. But actually, Bite is not the best move you get from Morty. See, Aquatique City is home to the Kimono Girls, which upon defeating, allow this old man to give you HM Surf, which has a base power of 90, which goes up to 135 thanks to Stab. A super effective Bite goes from 60 to 120, which is worse. With either of these moves, Croc typically gets 2 or 3 kills before being overwhelmed by Curse or getting run into the ground by Hypnosis, Dream Eater from Gengar, especially since the ghosts have decent special bulk as opposed to their laughable physical bulk. Now, Croc might sweep this fight, but it needs to be ridiculously lucky to achieve this. Going forward to Chuck. Croconaw gets there around the time it gets to level 30 and evolves into Feraligatr, which is spelled like this. Localization can be brutal sometimes, so going forward, we will refer to this Pokemon as K-Rool. Is that okay with everybody? Great, okay. K-Rool has quite good stats and will easily 1v1 the Primeape, not taking too much damage in the process thanks to Surf being decent. And for Poliwrath, it is RNG fast time. Hypnosis and Dynamic Punch each have an accuracy of 50%. You can use a Mint Berry to shrug off one Hypnosis for you to help you swing them odds in your favor. Now, at this point in the game, you might already have or consider getting yourself a Gyarados, which many consider to be just a better K-Rool, quite justifiably. Now, while we are definitely not arguing about how absolutely great Gyarados is, here are two things you have to consider. 1. K-Rool gets Ice Punch, which will come in handy later, believe it. And 2. This game lets you get away with having 2 Water-type Pokemon, and quite gracefully at that, maybe even more. Yo, did anyone say Gen 2 Mono Water Nuzlocke? Drop it in the comments. But we may be getting ahead of ourselves here, for the ice moves coming up are the ones used not by K-Rool, but by the Ice-type gym leader himself, Price. Now this guy's ace is a peak surf target, if such a thing even existed, and Feraligatr will also outstat both of his other Pokemon and beat them with a strong normal type move such as Strength by virtue of his good physical attack, most likely sweeping the gym. And speaking of sweeping gyms, K-Rool will easily have Jasmine's whole team needing a dose of that oh so sweet secret potion her Ampharos was healed by. We have a video on that, by the way. Magnemites can easily be one shot as long as we are willing to spend our TM for Dig on Feraligatr, and Steelix is once again a prime target for Surf, and even Sunny Day will not really help it. In the final Rocket arc, K-Rool can one-shot most Coughing before they boom with Surf, and can most notably mess up the Houndoom on the final Rocket Executive, which is huge. And speaking of final and huge, the next challenge K-Rool will face is none other than the final Johto gym leader with her huge Kingdra. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is where Ice Punch comes to play. Depending on your Feraligatr, you have a chance of cleanly one-shotting Dragonairs with Never Melt Ice Punches, which will send you off to a remarkable start. Otherwise, you should be able to KO 1 or 2 of them before you faint. As for the Kingdra, assuming K-Rool faces it while at full HP, it has a very decent chance of winning the 1v1 with Strength, as long as it pivots out of the accuracy drops, or gets lucky enough to just hit through them. The main thing going for it is that Kingdra will sometimes use Hyper Beam, which gives K-Rool a free turn it can abuse to make progress on the Kingdra. After beating Claire, K-Rool can head on to the Elite Four, where Ice Punch will prove to be quite deadly against Will by hitting 3 of his Pokemon super effectively, while Strength or another strong physical move hits Jinx hard. This allows K-Rool to get a couple of KOs for its team. Something similar can be said for Koga, but this time the cause of Feraligatr's decency is less the type chart and more the stat matchups, as Surf K-Rool drowns Ariados and Fortress alive and can overwhelm Venomoth, and Ice Punch still comes in clutch by hitting the Crobat for super effective damage. Bruno has less chances for our beloved Croc friend, who drowns Onix easily and can mostly 1v1 one of the Hitmons, though Machamp will most likely prove to be a tough nut to crack, except for a Croc that has enough stat experience to make the day. Against Karen, K-Rool will be most useful for punching the Murkrow fiercely and dealing with the menace that is Houndoom. He can also 1v1 Umbreon or Gengar, but its trainer will have to choose which targets to prioritize, as there is only so much HP Feraligatr boasts to go around. And last, but more importantly, is Lance, who Feraligatr has a super effective move for each and every single one of his Pokemon except for Gyarados. He will outspeed an Oko Dragonites with Never Melt Ice, and his Surfs will make Charizard and Aerodactyl easy. An absolutely bonkers Pokemon to use. Now, in the weird mess that is the Kanto part of this game, K-Rool will mostly be useful on every gym but Surge, with some of the brightest spots being Blaine, Brock, and have a strong physical move for Sabrina's Alakazam definitely does not hurt. Against Blue, K-Rool will have a super effective Ice Punch on Pidgeot and Executor, and a Surf to drown Rhydon and Arcanine, which permits it once again to do a lot of work. On Red, he definitely has the most obvious target of all time in Charizard, but he's also decent at 1v1 beating Blastoise or denting the Snorlax or Espeon if you need to. Overall, Totodile is consistently good early, mid, and late game in the Gen 2 games. So, what do you think of Feraligatr? Would you think its performance outdoes the abomination that the spelling of his name is? Cringe. Or would you prefer Typhlosion's swag or Chikorita's cuteness to it? Feel free to let us know in the comments. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Check some of these ones out, and on that note, I will see you in the next one.